Hi, this is Tim Grant. Mr. Peasy couldn't be here right now, but he asked me to give you a talk about the importance of using workstations and workstation groups in MRPE. So how do workstations and workstation groups come into play when performing manufacturing in MRPE? Well, first we need to define what workstations and workstation groups are before considering them in our setup. A workstation can be a piece of equipment like a lathe or a table saw, but it could also be an area like a paint booth or a drying area. It's simply a place where some operation or step in the process takes place. The workstations are tied to the operations at the bottom of the manufacturing order. A workstation group, on the other hand, is simply a grouping of similar pieces of equipment or an area where one or more operations are taking place. They might be groups of similar cutting or molding machines. Once you've organized your equipment and workspaces in your mind or on paper, hopefully, you want to start by creating the workstation groups. So here you create a new group and then specify how many instances of the the number of workstations that are going to be under this group. This saves you time because MRPE automatically creates the workstations and numbers them in sequential order for you on the Workstations tab. You can always rename them later if you want by clicking the Edit icon on the right-hand side. Back in the Workstation group, you can set custom working hours and holidays for this set of workstations. This allows you to set different operational times for the workstations outside of your normal working hours. This might be useful for setting up machines that run without an operator present, like with 3D printers or waiting for paint to dry before the next step. Why does MRPE allow colors to be set for the workstation groups? This is useful for the production schedule and Gantt charts used in the program. Not only can you see the manufacturing orders on the calendar, but you can also change the view to see the upcoming workstation usage. The operations tied to each workstation will show a corresponding color for quick identification. So by now you're probably asking or wondering, how are the workstations and workstation groups used in MRPE? When creating a routing, you identify the workstation groups associated with each operation. Say a step in the operation involves painting. I would first choose the painting workstation group and then enter the operational details that will take place in that work area. Note that you're only entering the workstation group during the routing setup. When the plant manager goes to create a new manufacturing order, MRPE will assign the specific workstation from that workstation group based on the order of the machines and the availability. At any given time, some of the machines or workstations might be reserved for other MOs. So MRPE looks for the next available workstation within the group. If none are available, then the operations workstation goes unassigned until a machine or area is available. The takeaway is this: workstation groups go on the routings. The workstations assigned to these workstation groups are identified on the manufacturing orders as the goods are produced. So what if I don't like the workstation MRPE as chosen for a particular operation? That's not a problem. Click the pencil edit icon on the right-hand side of the workstation line on the pre-production page and choose another available machine. Save it. If any of your machines are leased or you track the operational costs outside of labor per machine, you can also track the variable costs used in the production run. When you create or edit a workstation, you can put in an hourly cost of running the machine. This will carry over to the routing for that operation and then track that cost in the production based on the amount of setup and cycle time used for each operation. So here under the Workstations tab, we see this workstation has an hourly rate of $40. When we go to our routings and the routing that is associated using that workstation, as the time varies, so does the cost. So what if you have an operation that doesn't involve any workers, like waiting for a machine to complete? Well, you don't want to just leave the department or worker off of the routing, like we have in this case. Don't make that mistake. MRPE assumes it was accidentally left out, and it will fill in the name for that operation to whoever created the manufacturing order. MRPE assumes that person is doing the work. Instead, create a workstation group with custom hours that allow the machine to gobble up the time in the process. Here I've changed all of the times to include a full day. Next, create a department with a zero cost. This is under company settings, so the admin person may have to do it. Now you can set up the workstation group as the default for the operation under the routing. And use the setup time as the waiting time on this machine. This step won't add any cost, but it will add to the overall operation time needed for the completion of the manufacturing order. This also shows on the Gantt chart. I hope you found this tutorial on workstations and workstation groups in MRPE useful. Contact us with any other questions on these topics. I'll put our contact information in the window below the video. I'm Tim Grant with Business Solution Providers, helping you to make products.